Hi team, and welcome to our Introduction to Ancient Egypt Anchor Fact series of printables and mini lessons. In this series, we will learn about some of the most important events that explain the rise and fall of ancient Egypt. Today, in our first lesson, we will learn about the most important object ever discovered in the study of Egypt. Without it, there simply would not be a story to tell. Because of it, however, even though ancient Egyptian culture began to disappear about 2,000 years ago and is now completely extinct, we do know its story. How's that possible? For 2,000 years, people came and went from Egypt and were impressed by the pyramids, but they had no real idea who had built them or why. It was impossible to know because all the evidence was written in a form of writing that had disappeared, which nobody knew how to read. That form of writing is called hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics are found all over Egyptian temples and monuments. But how could anyone learn what was written? The story begins here, in modern Egypt, with a famous French general named Napoleon. Knowable World has a series of history through art videos on YouTube, in which you can watch a mini lesson just on this wonderful painting. The short version of the story is that what we are seeing is that Napoleon wanted to rule the world and stood looking at the Sphinx, wondering how something so amazing could go to ruin. He wanted to know the story. So he didn't just bring soldiers with him, he brought scientists and historians to study Egypt. In 1799, they discovered the most important piece of the puzzle of Egyptian history, the Rosetta Stone. Why was it so important? Well, as you can see from this version of its front face, there is writing all over it. And, which is the best part, it contains the same thing written 3 different times in 3 different forms of writing. At the top is hieroglyphics. In the middle is hieratic. At the bottom is ancient Greek. Why would there be Greek writing on an Egyptian stone? The answer will eventually be revealed in this Anchor Fact series. But the fact that it was there was super important. Historians have long known how to read ancient Greek. Many of our own letters and words come from Greek. Ever wonder why the alphabet is called the alphabet? Alpha, A, and beta, B, are the first 2 letters in it. Alpha, beta, alphabet. A French historian named Jean-François Champollion made the crucial discovery. He saw that certain words and names repeated in the Greek version of the text, and he guessed that they would be repeated in the same way in the other kinds of writing. This was how he discovered that in Egyptian hieroglyphics, you have to look for the parts written inside of ovals, which are called cartouches. Like this and like this. And on temple walls where they are written vertically, like this. Working with other examples, Champollion began to build a dictionary of hieroglyphics. And because of his efforts, we now have the ability to read ancient Egyptian texts and to know the history of ancient Egypt as well as anyone before us. But what does the Rosetta Stone say? The Rosetta Stone was written for the pharaoh Ptolemy V. It says that the priests of Egypt will honor him like a god. As we will learn in this series, Egyptian pharaohs were not treated like normal human beings. They were believed to be more than human. So the Rosetta Stone explains how the priests will honor this new god king, with statues and inscriptions in the temples, and that his birthday will be celebrated as a special national holiday in Egypt. The Rosetta Stone also says that this announcement will be made to all the people of Egypt, and stones like it will be put all throughout the country, which is true. After the Rosetta Stone was found, other copies of the same announcement were found in other parts of Egypt, including the Nocratis stone, which is the complete stone. This version of the announcement shows the whole story. It shows us that the Rosetta Stone is broken, like this, and that the other parts are missing. Even so, it was enough for history detective Jean-François Champollion to figure out what it said. So that means we can know about ancient Egypt. But it does not explain why everybody is so interested. The answer to that question in the next mini lesson.